I'm not filming it until you take that coat off.
So this is to actually prove a point. And it's not even necessarily for this segment. But you see, when you're ready to listen, were you ready to listen to this? This is my work coat. My point is, it may not be the best thing to impress you and say, what he's got to say is worth listening to. But it's very budget worthy, because if you're going to go do a grease job on your car or whatever, you got an old coat instead of your new coat. So you take this off, and the razzle dazzle comes out, because this is a real fancy bling shirt.
There you go.
Really. Proceed.
So this is the life skills video. This is the first one, and it's on budgeting. What a budget is and how to do it.
Why budget? I mean, I think it's important to start this entire series with an extremely important point. Turn your camera off, turn your TV off right now. It doesn't make any difference if you're not getting exercise, at least this much self-discipline. Self-discipline is what is going to change your life. And that starts one habit at a time. It's really not some big fancy thing you're going to need a bunch of books about. It's as simple as saying, I admit I don't have my life going where I want it to go right now. And it's as simple as changing one habit at a time. Maybe just one a day. So right now you need to know what that habit is to change. We're talking about, in this series, the budget.
The budget. But even more than that, before you even decide it, what are your goals? I mean, why? Why do you want to change your life?
If you're happy, paycheck to paycheck, skipping rent, getting bad credit, being stressed out, don't change anything.
But if you want to stop paying rent and someday maybe own your own home.
Maybe have your money work for you to where you can rest and relax while it's making you money.
Yeah, have less stress when it comes to money. And the ability to be generous, to help other people with your money. Then we'll talk about budgeting.
And self-determination, self-discipline.
So what is a budget? A monthly budget is just a tool to help you keep track of and prioritize your income and your outgo. So a budget allows you to see and plan what you spend your money on and helps you to plan for future expenses.
It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be in-depth or technical at all.
Nope. So following a budget gives you freedom. It puts you in control of your finances instead of the other way around. So a budget template, to start with a budget, just make a list of all the things you spend your money on every month. Start with the big things like your rent, your car payment, your child support, your utilities.
Your food.
And all the way down to the smaller things. Put everything on there. Your cigarettes, your vape oil, whatever, everything.
Everything.
Know where your money goes.
Yep.
Now, once you've written all those down, it's as simple as dividing those into the have to category and the like to. Have to things are like rent. You have to pay rent or you're sleeping on the street. Mm-hmm. You have to pay your child support or you lose your driver's license. Those are the have tos. The like tos are things like going out to eat, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. Sometimes even your cell phone can fall into the like to category.
My wife just loves to get her hair and her face done, and her big fancy fingernails.
Yeah, I look like it.
She just loves it.
Yeah.
She can't stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Do you want to change your life? This is where it starts. You got to get that jump up. You got to get that jump up. She doesn't have her fingernails done every day or every week or every 10 years.
And it's not a forever thing.
Right.
But for right now, when you don't have as much money, you've got to pay for the have-tos. The like-tos are only if you have extra money.
I promise you, the fun stuff will come. The fun stuff will come. Yeah, this one we already did.
We got all the pages,
yep,
all
we got
everything
the entire
on that?
thing.
Okay.
Yep, I read it. You're doing the 15%. Brett says, the last note on there is, Brett says to put everything in savings.
So you take all of your have-tos, total them up. If you have, let's say you make $2,000 a month. If your have-tos come to less than that, then you have a little extra. Take some of that extra before you start spending it on like-tos and put it in savings. Save it for future expenses, investment.
Yeah.
That gives you a cushion.
It doesn't matter, but I promise you, put it in there and do not touch it. Do not let anybody touch you, your spouse, your girlfriend, whatever. That thing goes into savings and it's there for an very important reason later, maybe a year or 2 or 3 years down the road. But it will come back to start to work for you. And that's where you start accumulating wealth.
If you total up your have-tos every month and they're more than you make, then you got to look for ways to cut your expenses. Start trimming those have-tos. Get a cheaper place to rent.
And
get a second job, whatever it takes.
You know, one aspect that we didn't cover here is if you're having huge medical loss. A lot of these guys come in with huge $50,000 medical bills. You may have to go through some sort of a
debt consolidation or
reorganization or default. I just talked to somebody today who said, my bankruptcy was successful yesterday, and my credit's not even that bad. But that's a whole different area that you're going to try to avoid. That may be necessary to get started on saving
At the end of the video, we'll have some resources where you can find sample budget templates, but really it's the have-tos and the like-tos. Here's a way to practice it. For 2 months, practice not spending any money on the like-to categories, just to prove to yourself you can.
None.
You can do it.
Yep.
Don't spend a dime on any like-tos. Don't go out to eat, nothing.
You will discover that actually you can live life. You can clip your own fingernails. You can hang your own laundry instead of using a dryer even. I mean, really down to the basics.
And it's good to have an accountability partner. Somebody else who's on a budget that's trying to stick to it. Keep each other accountable. Do not gamble. Don't buy lottery tickets. Don't go to the bingo halls. Don't bet on anything. You're wasting your money.
And when you rent, don't say, what can I absolutely afford? You have to get out of this entire mindset. Again, it's about self-discipline. Discipline yourself. Yeah. Even more than you think you have to. Yeah. Go rent a not very nice place. There's still decent people around
For a while.
There's decent people.
Until
this
you
is what you
money.
might have to do.
Other ways to save money, if you're paying to dry your clothes or you're paying the utilities at your place, hang your clothes up instead of throwing them in the dryer. It'll
Simple
save you money
thing.
every
Really,
month.
it's a lot of electricity if you're paying the electric.
Yeah.
The first thing you might look at really is really looking at where you're living. Are they charging you? Is it just going out the door for utilities? And they some landlords are really good about saying, well, we pay for everything but utilities, but they heat it with electric, and electric is an extremely expensive way to heat anything.
Yeah, if you pay the utilities, get a programmable thermostat. Keep it a little bit lower. Wear a sweatshirt in the house.
Weather
think
strip
of
your
ways
doors, even
to
if you're renting.
save money.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time. Don't pay too much for a car. We talk about cars in another video, but cars will soak you.
If there's
you're not
one
careful.
thing, I think, one thing that sinks people, especially I gotta have my truck.
Or my bike.
You don't, say it real slow, you don't tax tickets, tags, title, insurance. It's a major source of unexpected expense. And it's an ongoing forever expense. It just continually kills you.
If you can get to work without a car, do it. Get a bike, get a bus pass, walk.
Huge step.
Really important.
Huge step.
Don't eat out too much. It gets expensive. Okay?
Easy. And
Cook
you don't
at
use
home.
credit cards.
And don't use credit cards.
Don't use credit. If you don't have them, don't get them. If you have them, cut them up.
If you don't have the money for something right now, save it until you do and pay cash.
Work your job. When you get money, just start using cash and realize that there's a lot of money that goes out. You don't need to have the best.
Make a list when you go shopping and stick to the list. Don't buy a bunch of extra stuff.
I know it doesn't sound like fun, does it?
But this is for a
especially when
little
we say,
while.
guess what? You're gonna have to quit smoking too.
If you can, or at least cut back. Cause
We know how
cigarettes
extremely
are
work
expensive.
with a lot of addicts who can quit meth and everything else. They can't quit. You can quit smoking.
Yeah.
It really comes down to determination. If you really want a new life and you're tired of all the things, the paycheck to paycheck, and the constant stress that this life gets you, it's time to take a serious look, probably at cars and smoking.
Yeah, and set your bills to auto pay.
And credit card.
Yeah, set your bills to auto pay so you don't pay late fees and they get paid on time. That helps your credit and it makes sure your have-tos get paid. Cut your cable bill, get rid of it altogether for a while. You can substitute, you can go to the library and get movies,
And a great way to do this is to put in your brain a whole new filter saying, if I can do without this, then I will.
For a period of time. That's why practicing at the beginning is so important.
You got to really get some self-determination, but it will pay over and over and over. And honestly, compared to a lot of things like that, self-determination I'm talking about isn't very much. You just have to start exercising some self-determination.
So prioritize your debts, have-tos, like-tos, savings. Make sure you save some every month. And self-discipline.
And you will be elated after about 2 months of realizing, I'm actually accumulating a bank account. This is actually working. And that's where it really starts to pay off.
Then it gets fun.
Down deep.